I'm giving you guys the top 5 best meta loadouts in Warzone 3. Now, some of you guys actually weren't a fan of my previous top 5 because it included nerfed weapons, even though they're still meta. So instead, in this video, I'm actually going to give you guys some updates, and I'm going to give you guys better weapons. So we are going to start out with the Hoge 556 again, but we're going to give you an updated class. Start out with the VT7 Spiritfire Suppressor for being undetectable by the radar, recoil control, bullet velocity, and damage range. You do lose some aim down sight speed, aim walking steadiness, and sprint to fire speed. Not a big deal. Trust me. This build right here is going to have 0 recoil and it's going to be incredibly mobile. Next, put on the Cheerios 6 match for bullet velocity and range, recoil control, and gun kick control. You do lose some aim down sight speed, aiming out sway, and sprint to fire speed, but like I said, don't worry about it. Next, we're going to put on the 40 round mag. Now, you do get a reduction of movement speed and all that, but trust me, this is already an incredibly mobile weapon, so don't worry about it. Next, put on the RB Auto Assault stock for recoil control and gun kick control at the cost of aim down sight speed. And the last thing you're going to put on is the Jack Glasses optic for precision, sight, picture, and firing aim stability. You lose some aim down sight speed, but I can't wait to show you the outcome. The Hoge 556 is kind of difficult for some people to use. They don't have a good control of the recoil, so I wanted to make a build that was actually incredibly easy to use, and this is that one right here. I think this build right here is going to be the least difficult overall meta to actually use. If you want to make it even easier, I give you guys a better choice. So here's the entire class setup right here, but if you guys don't want to use this muzzle and you guys want even less recoil, I have something for you. So you guys go over to the right, and you can either use one of two things. You can use the Cassis brake, or you can use the X10 ported 290. Now, I know this is something that people don't really recommend, but this thing is absolutely insane. Look at the positive stats. So I'm going to show you the two, and you make a choice. So this is the Cassis brake right here. Check this out. I don't think it really moves. I think it's pretty solid. Stays in one spot. You can take that off, or if you don't want to use that, you can use the X10 ported, like I said before. X10 ported 290. I think this thing is absolute laser. Literally does not move. So you guys have multiple choices. Whatever you guys want to use, completely up to you. It all gets the job done. HRM9, because this thing is taking over in both casual and competitive play. First thing you're going to want to throw on is the Zemin 35 compensated flash hider. Now this shortens the radar pings, which is actually fantastic. But the next thing is it helps with the vertical recoil, horizontal recoil, and firing aim stability. Now you do get a reduction of bullet velocity and aim down sight speed, which you notice is a 5% reduction, but I don't really think that's big of a deal. Now if you can't handle the Zemin 35 compensated and you don't want to deal with that, we do have an alternative. It's the L4R flash hider. L4R flash hider, all you do is get a reduction of aim down sight speed, but it has the same benefits. Now, you don't get the vertical recoil boost that you would get in the previous one, but look at this. It also helps with the 13% on recoil, horizontal, and vertical. It's just not specifically vertical. In fact, the previous one helps with vertical a negative 15% versus this helps 13%. So you weigh your options, whichever one you want, you can use. Next, throw in the Thorn 90 bro for hip fire attack, stand spread, aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed, and sprint speed. You do lose recoil control and aiming out of sway, but it's not a big deal, and I don't think you're going to even notice. Next, put on the DR6 hand stop for aim walking speed, aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed, and movement speed. Once again, you get a reduction of hip fire attack, stand spread, and aim walking steadiness, but it's not a big deal. Put on the 50 round drum because there's really no better alternative. I think this is the best possible choice. And the last attachment is the folding stock. This helps with recoil control, gun kick control, and firing aim stability at the cost of aim down sight speed, which is not a big deal for this gun. This gun is ridiculously easy to use at honestly all ranges. I would say even at long range it does a good job. I just wanted to reload all the way so I could actually show you guys. This thing actually does a fantastic job at long range. Just make sure you actually choose your gunfights wisely. I would recommend staying at the short to medium range with this gun. And to show you guys the entire class setup, here's the HRM9 right here. And real quick, I want you guys to comment what your favorite gun is in Warzone 3 or Modern Warfare 3 for some COD points. Next is the SOA SubZero. I actually think this is the best long-range weapon in the game right now, so I gotta show it to you guys. Throw on the Cassis brake L for horizontal recoil and firing aim stability at the cost of aim down sight speed. I would actually give a similar recommendation as the one I did earlier, but instead Tempest GH50. So if you guys want to use a Cassis or the Tempest, completely up to you. You do get more reduction of aim down sight speed with the Tempest, but I think the Cassis is more than enough. Put on the Dozer 90 long barrel for bullet velocity and range, firing, aim stability, gun kick control, and recoil control at the cost of aim walking speed, sprint to fire speed, aim walking steadiness, and aim down sight speed. Next, put on the Brune Heavy support grip for gun kick control, aiming out of sway, horizontal recoil, and firing aim stability. You do lose some aim down sight speed and vertical recoil, but trust me, this is the one you want to have. I've tested every single one of these big ones right here, and I think the Brune Heavy support grip is the best choice. 50 round drum, I think there's just no better alternative. You don't want to have less just because this is basically an AR. I mean, it's a battle rifle, but Why would you rather have 30 than 50? Last but not least, I put on the Motion V2 heavy stock for recoil control and gun kick control at the cost of aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed. Just check this out. This is literally the ACR. Like, it's actually insane that this thing does not move. It has a pretty decent recoil for, reload for a drum. The lack of recoil and the fast time to kill makes this thing an absolute force to be reckoned with. So I highly recommend trying this out. And if you guys do want to be risky and you want to use the Tempest GH50, I can show you guys that too. I think it's just as crazy in my opinion. I mean, I think the Cassis is kind of better. That's whatever you guys want to use, completely up to you. I'm going to stick to the Cassis, but here's the entire class setup for the SOA Subverter. Next is the Wasp 9. Now, I actually think this is another overall best SMG in the game. It actually is dangerous at all ranges, where the HRM is really good at close and medium range. This is insane at every single range, but it's a bit slower. On the Zemin 35 compensated flash hider for shorter radar pings, vertical recoil, horizontal recoil, and firing aim stability. You do lose some bullet velocity and aim down sight speed, but this thing has an insane amount of bullet velocity. Next, throw on the DR6 hand stop for aim walking speed, aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed, and movement speed at the cost of hip fire and attack stance spread, and aim walking steadiness. Throw on the 9mm high grain rounds for bullet velocity and damage range at the cost of recoil control. Now, the reason I threw this on there is because initially I had something else on there, but I realized that this is more beneficial. Now, check this out. It helps with bullet velocity, effective damage range, and minimum damage range by 15%. What I was initially using was a Wasp Reckless 90 long barrel, and you see it only helps by 12%, 12%, and 6%. I just don't think the trade-off is worth it. Next is a 40-round mag. If you want to use 50, it's completely up to you, but I just think the cons end up getting a little too high. I think if you look at these two, I mean, you have to weigh your options. Do you really want this much of a trade-off? And if you're okay with it, feel free, but I like the 40. I think it's the best possible choice. And the last attachment is my personal preference, the Niter Model 2023. This thing is super busted and super easy to use. In my opinion, it is actually one of the best SMGs in the game. I want to show you guys, like, even at long range, if you can get your shots on point, it's absolutely lethal. Now, I would recommend keeping it to short to medium range just because with an SMG, it is ideal to keep the gunfights at short to medium range. But you see, you actually can hit your shots and take someone out in long range if you really try. So here's the entire class right here. Please take a picture, take a screenshot, whatever you guys need to do, or if you guys just want to copy the class right now. The Wasp 9 is absolutely amazing, and I'll say that it actually is the best SMG, but the HRM9 lovers will most likely fight me for that. The Ram 7 is an absolutely amazing assault rifle. I would say it's the best assault rifle in the game. You know, the MTZ-762 is technically a battle rifle. This would be the best assault rifle in the game. Go on the Cassis brake for horizontal recoil and firing aim stability at the cost of some aim down sight speed. Trust me, there's no better alternative. Not at all. This is the best choice. Next, throw on the Cronin Headwind long barrel for bullet velocity and range, aiming out sway and firing aim stability at the cost of hip fire and attack stance spread, aim walking speed, and sprint to fire speed. Trust me, this is the best possible choice. You want as much bullet velocity and range as possible for this build. Next, throw on the Brune Heavy support grip for gun kick control, aiming out sway, horizontal recoil, and firing aim stability at the cost of aim down sight speed and vertical recoil. Now, I went through every single one of these, and this is the best possible choice, especially for this gun. Next, throw on the 60-round drum. You just don't really want to run anything else. I think this is the best possible choice. And the last attachment is the HVS 3.4 pad for gun kick control, recoil control at the cost of sprint to fire speed, sprint speed, and movement speed. Now check this out. This thing literally has zero recoil. It's actually kind of scary. Like, it does not move. I genuinely am so shocked that they made this gun as good as it is. It does have a tiny bit of recoil, but when I say no recoil, you can literally hold your thumbstick down just a little bit and it counteracts the entire thing of recoil. That's why I say this thing has no recoil, because it's super easy to control, and in my opinion, just makes it one of the best guns in the game. So here's the entire class setup right here. Please, if you guys don't take any other class setup, please copy this class setup down, because this class setup right here is absolutely broken. It'll do great in any game mode.